Thank you for joining us. It's time for Fashion Watch. My name is Lillian Muli. We're glad you're watching. Please use the hashtag Fashion Watch to talk to us or SMS us using 22422. Our resident panelists, every Saturday here on Fashion Watch. Let me begin with Carol Odero, who's an award-winning fashion journalist, and she'll be critiquing the fashion trends we're looking at today. We're looking at international fashion trends and, of course, looking at the local scene as well. Also with us is Robert Burale. He's a motivational speaker and an image consultant, and he'll be critiquing tonight's trends as well. And, of course, celebrity fashion journalist Annabelle Onyango with us every Saturday right here on the Fashion Watch, looking at this week's fashion trends. So let's begin with the latest, and tonight we are critiquing. This is Lupita Nyongo, and here this image was taken at the Metropolitan Museum of Art on Monday. That's in New York City at the Met Gala. Lupita Nyongo here making headlines because of her skyscraper hair. Critics feel we're not too happy about this look, actually. Of course, as you can see, she's wearing a slinky green dress, but then, like I said, critics not too excited about her hair, and it instantly, became a meme with comparisons to The Simpsons, Marge. And if we can have Marge on the screen, yes. So a lot of people felt that this was sort of like a Marge-inspired hairdo, and then there are those who felt that she was trying to resonate with the African culture. Although critics argue that although this may be African, it certainly is not Kenyan. So, Annabelle, let's begin with you. What's going on underneath the hair to keep it up? But then again, honestly, for you, this look on Lupita.
So, the Met Gala, it's an annual event hosted by the editor of Vogue, Anna Wintour, and it's a really well-attended, auspicious event. All the who's who, entertainers, and fashion stars attend this event, so it's really important in the fashion calendar. In fact, I would argue that it's the most important, next to maybe the Oscars. Now, last year we saw Lupita wearing a weird green outfit, and I feel like she's wearing a weird green outfit again this year. And I don't understand why she keeps wearing these weird green outfits. This is a designer called Calvin Klein, who, ironically enough, was the designer that she wore the red cape that really launched Lupita's career. The dress is okay. I mean, it's not my favorite dress ever. What I dislike about this look, I feel like the dress and the hairdo, which is the structural sort of vertical column on her head, I feel like they're incongruent, meaning that they don't go together. There's no sort of relationship between the slinky dress and, the supposedly African-inspired hairdo. So I don't love it because I feel like they don't go well together.
Bob, So, like Annabelle says, last year was a huge year for Lupita fashion-wise. She was a win on the red carpet everywhere she went. So, is this a case of her trying too hard, do you think, and sort of just getting it all mixed up and messed up? I don't know, but do you like it?
Absolutely not. The dress, I'm okay with the dress, but the problem is the hair. One of the strongest points, I think they've even used her short hair in the movie Barbershop 3. Her short hair is one of her strongest points. So why fix it if it ain't broken? So I think what she's trying to do, of course, she's at a level whereby she has very many advisors. But the problem with too many advisors, you end up being them or being what they want you to be, and you lose what is strong for you. So the dress is good, the hair has made her look totally confused, and I think she should actually go back to her short hair because it launched her. She stands out, but when you try too much, you end up messing up.
And this is actually not her hair, Carol, is it? It's an extension, and I know you're pro-natural hair. What do you think about Lupita's transition over the years? Is she keeping up with that style icon tag? Is she starting to mess up a little bit? Are you excited about this look?
Well, I'm excited about this look for one reason. The Met Gala had a theme this year, and the theme was man versus machine, which means handmade versus machine-made. So if you look at what she's wearing, she said the dress was inspired by Matrix Reloaded, which is the ultimate sci-fi movie, if you had to look at it. So the dress represents tech, and the hair represents art, and it also represents handmade. Because when she's talking about African hair and how African hair is made, this was a celebration of texture and the strength and the versatility of African hair. How many things can you do with it? And what's interesting is that people don't like this hair, and we keep talking about how we should go back to our ancestors and how they used to wear their hair. That's what she did, and people don't like it. And you keep saying we should go back to our roots, we need to celebrate our culture and our natural. That's what she she did. Why is she getting critiqued for it?
So that's exactly actually.
She's actually doing what a style icon is supposed to do. Push boundaries, make people think, make you ask questions, make you get out of your narrow thinking when it comes to fashion. I still think she wins.
So you like it?
I like it.
But what were fashion critics saying? Did she get a nod from most
What
of them?
fashion critics were talking about mostly was her hair, and they got the inspiration wrong because they thought it was inspired by an old Hollywood starlet, and that's why she corrected them on her own Instagram account. Another version of how fashion and technology meet, and she told them, listen, this is about Africa, this is not about Audrey Hepburn, who they thought this was made after. Yeah.
Okay, tell us what you think about Lupita Nyongo's look. Use the hashtag #FashionWatch. Let's see who else was at the Met Gala. So this is Idris Elba. And this is a hunk for sure. He's wearing Tom Ford here. Carol, let's start with you, with the dashing white bow tie and the white shirt. He was one of the best dressed. What do you think about this?
Well, I think my future husband. I think it looks great, and Tom Ford is a classic. He has always preferred Tom Ford. He has a great relationship with the designer, and he was also a co-host for the Met Gala. Now, what he's wearing is actually white tie, which a lot of men tend to prefer black tie over white, but this is exclusively white, so it's very formal, and when you're doing a red carpet event, it really is quite an attention getter. I can't even fault this look. I mean, like I said, my future husband, enough said.
So is the white tie, the shirt is the same shade as the bow tie? Completely?
Yes, it is the same, and then also you can see from the cut of the blazer, it's a morning coat. It's not necessarily a typical tuxedo jacket. Yeah.
Great, and he's British.
Yes.
So that's a British-inspired look.
Yes. Well, the aristocrats tend to wear this for a lot of formal occasions. If you look at Prince Philip, what he tends to wear is a white tie.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Bob, the other day, on the Kenyan red carpet, you weren't too excited about the white on white. You bashed a guy who was white on white, but here on Idris, it's a win.
No, it's not a win. We are saying it's a win because you're all crazy about the guy. If this was a Kenyan man, you would have been saying the way it is a fail. No. We have bashed people.
Don't speak
Actually,
on my behalf.
No. On this show, we have all bashed some gentlemen who had white on white. Because it's Idris Elba and not Wafula, there's a problem.
I did explain why the white and white is not well.
Let me just
white
say,
and white is not white.
White, he should have gone for a different color bow tie. The truth of the matter is you don't go white on white, and it's so same. In fact, if you look from a distance, you'd not even know there's a bow tie. And that is when you know you've gone it wrong. When someone has to come so close to realize there are two pieces of clothing. And that is, for me, the tuxedo looking fantastic. But white on white, we have bashed people on this show. Let us be objective and also bash him, whether it's Idris Elba or Wafula Wanyonyi.
I'm sorry, he's definitely
Okay, so Robert is not loving this look, but I think Annabelle is of a different view. Annabelle, what do you think?
I think Robert is a hater of the highest degree. I would say Idris Elba was actually the best dressed at the Met Gala. Women, men, actors, fashion people, he was the best dressed because he was true to himself and he didn't do too much. Yes, the theme was man versus machine with a technological theme, but I love the fact that he didn't quite honor that, and he's actually wearing a flower on his lapel, kind of like, I'm just going to go natural instead of going technology. I love the simplicity of his look. I love the white on white. And I think he is perfection.
Okay, so tell us what you think about Idris Elba's look. Your vote doesn't count, by the way.
It's okay. Let me wait for Beyonce.
Let's just move on quickly. Hashtag is Fashion Watch. Who else was there? Let's take a look. So this is a very pregnant Kerry Washington. You know her from Scandal. She's a Scandal star, and she's wearing Marc Jacobs black lace gown paired with polka dot gloves. Annabelle, I'm curious about the polka dot gloves with the lace and the high slit, and of course the very pregnant Kerry Washington. What do you think about all of this? Is it too much for you? Elegant, winning? What do you think?
I'm also curious about the gloves. I wonder what motivated the choice of having the polka dot gloves, because I think it's not flattering or cute. I know with the Met Gala, it's not really about being pretty. It's about honoring the theme of the gala, which again was fashion in the age of technology. I don't see that theme being referenced in her look. I don't even think this makes her look pretty, to be honest. I think Kerry Washington is a style chameleon, and she really pushes the boundaries in terms of fashion, but she just doesn't look good in this look, and I hate the red hair. Don't love it. This is Marc Jacobs, and it's a Marc Jacobs fail.
Hey, red hair, your reaction?
She just shot a bolt through my heart. I actually love the hair. In fact, if there's anything that I love most about this, it's the hair. But the thing about this outfit is it looks great if you separate it. All of it thrown together is a bit much. I actually think, though, that this is an exercise in personal branding and public relations. When Kerry Washington was wearing this outfit, people had not known she was pregnant, and people had been talking about her getting a divorce from her husband, who was a date at the Met Gala. So you find a way to, it's like spilling a drop of ink inside the water, and it divides attention. So people don't just focus on the one thing that they've been focusing on, which is a personal and private life, which is very private about, she doesn't want to discuss. So how do you deflect attention? You wear something that makes people talk about something else. That's what she did. And she's, of course, passing that statement, because clearly in a lot of the photos, she's cradling her baby bump. But Robert, your thoughts on this look?
For me, this is one of the most beautiful women alive. But I don't think she's done herself any justice. For me, if you asked me, I wish she would have looked classy and sexy while expectant without showing too much thigh. The slit is a bit too high. I would rather people talk about, oh, she looked very, very good, and yet she's carrying a baby, and so there's a way you can look classy and still expectant. But now she's diverted attention to too much skin. I wish the slit.
Actually thought she looked good.
No, it's okay. I mean, but my opinion is, as a lady, when you go through stages, there's some things that you're supposed to dilute a little bit. So I think, yes. She's expectant, and that's why she's diverting the attention to her baby bump by putting her hand there. That's non-verbal communication. But as she's trying to do that, something else is taking away attention. I think the slit was a bit too high.
You do realize that I've not been pregnant, and neither of you, but sometimes the women who say that when they're pregnant, they actually do feel sexier, so they actually tend to dress like that.
Being sexy does not mean showing too much. Being sexy is you feel. That's why you use the word feel, not look.
You just talked about how
you can wear a dress up to the bottom, but you feel sexy. You can wear a short skirt and you don't feel sexy.
Okay, this could go on forever. So what do you think? The hashtag is Fashion Watch. Let's proceed and see who else was there. So this is Claire Danes, and she had the ultimate Cinderella moment. She wore a pale blue princess gown that actually lit up. This gown actually lit up. See there? Wow. I don't know. I don't see anything like this on the Kenyan red carpet. Robert, what do you think? I think this is amazing.
Yes, and I think she looks fantastic. I just don't get these big gowns, so when you're entering, people cannot step on your dress, and if there's a stampede, there's a problem.
You're not clearly doing that.
But what no, you can't.
Mad.
But I think she looks absolutely fantastic, and the fact that it can light up, I think she pushed the envelope and just went all the way. So for me, that's a win.
Annabelle, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the theme, this is a ball gown dress, a Cinderella dress, you called it, Lils, and this is what every girl wants to end up in one day in their life. It's actually stunning on her, the simplicity of it. It's made of organza. It's made by a designer called Zach Posen, very popular designer for the Met Gala. How it really hit the theme on the head is the fact that it's a classic silhouette in a classic fabric like organza, but then inside the underlay of the dress is 30 battery packs.
Wow.
And that's what allowed this dress to light up in the dark. So that's the perfect sort of fashion in the age of technology. It's such a beautiful way to sort of embody that theme. I think it's beautiful.
Carol?
Oh, I love this dress. This for me is actually, it's so far for me, it is the quintessential red carpet dress. Mostly the designer stuck to the theme and designed it specifically for Claire Danes. But the interesting thing about this, again, the man versus machine theme, it took 6 people 600 hours to make this dress with a very specific kind of fabric only made in Paris. And then he added the technology part, which is the battery pack. So there is the handmade, which is couture, and then there is the LED, which is technology. So most people think that when you merge technology with fashion, it's supposed to look futuristic and a bit geeky. This is the simplicity and elegance of what technology can do when you combine fashion and art.
I'm just curious how she was making it light up.
It was controlled by a pack of batteries, so it actually was literally being monitored by the fashion house. Wow. And in fact, she had to return it by 11:30 p.m. It was a Cinderella dress with a curfew. It had to go back by midnight, so because it could only stay lit for so long.
Amazing, amazing, interesting. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I don't know why this is funny. Back to reality. This is the KNU teacher, Wilson Sosion. And he wed over the weekend. So there he is with his lovely bride. And later, I believe he changed to white. Yes. I think, yeah, there you go. So let's talk about this look, Robert. I'll start with you.
Actually, I love couples who just go the simple way. Because we have people who, especially in this country, and I've done very many weddings, who go so out of the way, and after your wedding, your suppliers are still chasing you to pay the suit. So I think he has gone very simple. He's worn a very well-fitted suit, and the bride has not gone over the top. But she has dressed her body well, and I think they're just a happy couple. When they dressed in white, I think it was white and gold or white and yellow, I think they look absolutely fantastic. They didn't do what we call being a public success and a private failure. You're going for your honeymoon, and this guy can afford any suit he wants. And so the ones who can afford, go simple. And the ones who cannot afford, try to impress so many people, and then they get stressed after that. So the fitting of the suit is good, and the fitting of the casual outfit is also fantastic.
And Annabelle, I believe you style for weddings. What do you think about this look? I mean, this is his big day, so presumably people want to go all out. I disagree with Robert. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah.
But what do you think about their choice of dressing for that day? And let's talk about the bride and the gentleman as well.
Girl, I agree with you. I feel like for a wedding, you can go casual. I mean, it's very sort of subjective. It's a decision that all couples have to make for themselves. But in my opinion, a wedding is really a formal occasion. It's the most formal you're allowed to be. And you know, wearing a suit with no sort of tie, no bow tie, wearing a suit that's not even black, I feel is a little underdressed for a wedding. I mean, as Robert said, she is a happy bride, and that's really all you want from a bride. I prefer the African-inspired ensembles in the other picture, because I think it's simplicity, but it also has a point of view. And I think a point of view is always really necessary when you have an event as special as a wedding. So I really like the African-inspired looks.
Carol, for you, the African-inspired outfits or the more formal look, which one do you prefer?
I feel like my mind is still in a state of shock. It's a jarring effect when you come from looking at how far you can push the envelope when it comes to fashion, and then you look at how little people can sometimes try. But then with these people, you can see that for them this is their middle ground. It's their wedding. It's what they want to do. It's simple. It works for them. It's always interesting to figure out the conversations people have before they get dressed. But since you're not privy to it, I can't really tell how much they invested in it. I prefer this African look when it comes to a wedding, because it is more celebratory. It is something that is specifically made for you and her with a specific day and a purpose in mind. So I think that when you're looking at a union, this conveys it more than the typical suit. Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, with the permission of my director, I know we're out of time, but Marcy, if you could just give us a quick photo reel of the Groove nomination picks. We're not going to critique them, just to get a contrast of what we saw at the Met Gala and here our red carpet. So there you have it. These are the Groove Nomination Awards picks, and these are some of the celebrities that were there. You can see Faith Muturi, David the Student, I think this is a performing artist as well, LJ Masai. So clearly, yes. And looking at New York, where the Met Awards were held, I know this is Kenya, so let's not be unfair, but Robert, seriously, yeah.
I know we have to understand they're far much ahead of us, and might be too unfair to judge to bounce them off. But for this one, Faith Muturi, I think, looks absolutely fantastic. She has dressed her body as compared to many other people who we have seen in the function. I think newly married, so understanding her position as someone's wife and also as a public figure, as a mentor to many. So she's taken care of every loophole.
Yeah, but what I don't get, Carol, and which is what I was getting at when I was, you know, drawing the comparison, is the lack of theming in some of these events, because you see an African-inspired gown on Faith, then you see David the Student in a casual jacket and a floppy hat and what have you. But at the Met Awards, you sort of see some consistency in what people are wearing. So, yeah, I think that's what I was driving at when I was, you know, forwarding the question to Bob. What do you think?
Well, I think we have a long way to grow. There is that part. But at the same time, people forget that creativity can be pushed whether or not you have money, whether you have access to information. If you really wanted to make something interesting and you're a designer, you would find a way to do it without necessarily having to feel like you're competing against New York. See, they found their theme and their pulse and their beat being them. We need to find ours. And again, these event organizers need to find something consistent when they're doing an event. Is it red carpet? Is it a nomination? Like, red carpets are exclusive events. They have a very specific purpose and they have a very specific guest list. And the designers who dress these people know that they have a reason for going there. So it's just, be real and do it the way it's supposed to be done. Stop trying to cut corners. It doesn't look interesting.
Yeah, and Annabelle, as we wind up, what do event organizers need to do so that our local designers can clamor you know, for that space to dress celebrities? What do we need to do when we're hosting events? What's the way forward?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think the industry, the fashion industry, really needs to be bolstered in some way. Consumers, as well as the government and private individuals, we need to really support local designers and empower them to create designs that really suit us, suit Kenya. It's not for New York, it's for Nairobi. You know, what designs do appeal to us as a, you know, as a consumer? Make them affordable, you know, inspire them, give them commercial spaces, make the designs affordable, make the fabrics affordable. I mean, the design, we're just in a place where people just sort of pick anything from their closet and wear it to the red carpet, and it's really not enough anymore. We just need more.
Yeah, and share your thoughts, please, using the hashtag #FashionWatch. Let's take your tweets. Okay, Frederick Okango, I like Lupita's fashion, but she tries too hard at times. Okay. You're saying Lupita's hairstyle is okay. She brings out uniqueness about African art. Okay. Beautifully fierce, Idris Elba, the epitome of British style. And of course, Kerry Washington has too much going on, minus the polka dot gloves. She would have looked better. Thank you, Mukali. Okay, that's all the time we had. Ian is caught in traffic, but he'll be back next Friday. We missed you, Ian. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week. Good night.